Uh, Siddharth, are you there? Hello,
Yes, I
Siddharth.
am.
Yes, Siddharth, you can continue.
Sorry.
Siddharth, please give the welcome speech.
Okay. So thank you, Mejbin, and good afternoon, one and all. I am Siddharth Nair, member of Communication Department. Would like to welcome all of you all to this webinar on behalf of the ECEL. A warm welcome to our faculty members, Professor Lubina ma'am, Professor Anuja ma'am, Professor Anupama, and our principal, Dr. Vijita Shetty. And a warm welcome to our dear participants. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome our speaker of today's session, Mr. Krishnan. Thank you for joining us. This webinar is organized by the eSelf for students to learn more about entrepreneurship and how to entrepreneurs build to a good team for smooth function of the organization. So without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. Now I would request Madhya to please take over.
Thank you, Siddharth. Hello, everyone. I am Madiha Sheikh, member of Communication Department. I would love to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Kishan PSP, who is the founder of HBots Private Limited, Sahaya Foundation, and PSP Technologies, a chairperson of HPEW and a researcher of Club of Robotics. His passion for robotics led him to start a robotics company. His startup company, HBots, deals with the machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, and IoT. His company aims to turn impartial thoughts of people who tend to think robotics is a challenging field to pursue by setting up a research and development center that can be used by everyone who wishes to gain as insight in this field. Thank you. Over to you, Mehdabin.
Thank you, Madhya. Now I would request Kishan sir, you can start the session.
Sure. Thank you. So good evening, everyone. It's thank you for having me here, and I would like to convey my wishes to every faculty member out there, and the principal of the college, the directors, and the management of the college, and the entire ESIL, and all the students and all the participants out there. So today we will be discussing on the importance of imagination to innovation in entrepreneurship. So as of my knowledge on this particular event, I've understood like you will all the students and all the participants in this particular session are looking forward to become entrepreneurs in the future, and you're laying your foundation stone for your bright entrepreneurship future over here in this college currently. So my past experience and whatever we have done so far as part of the organization, our organizations, as part of an individual. So this is something like there are some very key points which take away key points, which I would like to mention so that these will be helpful for you in your future journey. Right. So in meanwhile, like if anyone has any questions or something, always feel free to ask or do send a message. And so myself, I'm Kishan. So the entire story of mine has been started almost in my school days with a small dream. So we all dream in schools, right? So not even in schools. I know most of you students even dream even today when your lecturers are taking the classes. So the entire story started when I was in my school. So I used to have a lot of dreams. I used to dream a lot in the classes. I used to dream about my future in sense, not in terms of education, but everything else other than education. So all these things I used to enjoy a lot in my classrooms, and or from morning 9 a.m. to evening 4 p.m. used to be my dream classes with a 1 hour lunch break. So that's how the entire school life went. But when the reality started, so when certain issues been faced, etc., then we've decided. So me and a couple of my friends decided to come up with an organization, especially a foundation, which will help many people, like child eradicating child labor, supporting child education. So these are the major goals which we've set up for the organization, and we named it as Sahaya Foundation. And that's how the career of my career in social service has started somewhere in my 10th class. And then we've been doing a lot of good work, where we used to collect some money and donate to the nearest orphanages, or we used to buy some clothes and donate it to a couple of old people, etc. So this continued for a couple of years. And when I stepped into my graduation, that's where we thought we need to expand our services across the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So then it was Andhra Pradesh. It's a combined state. So we thought of expanding that particular services to in the entire state. And that's when we've decided, why can't we start an orphanage? Just like how we do have e-cell and other important cells or other important chapters in the colleges. The same way we thought, why can't a college can have a social service chapter? And that's how the entire concept of starting a chain of orphanages got started. But as a pilot, we've started with our college, where I've come from. So we started an orphanage and we had around 49 kids. And first couple of months went very amazing. It's like everyone were excited. Every student who took participated or who volunteered for the organization were very excited, and we never faced any problems. But after 3 or 4 months, the interest in the students was gradually getting down, and it was getting us, it was getting become a lot of difficult for us to raise funds, collect funds, and maintain the orphanage, and take care about all the students, all the kids, all the 49 kids in the orphanage and all. And that's when we thought we need to start something else. And that's when the entire concept of robotics. So by then, my only passion was in robotics, and that's what I decided, okay, let's start something in robotics. And we started educating students. We started working with students. We started with various colleges, and we started giving training to all the students in the colleges again on robotics. And we started earning good amount of money, and that amount was being directed to the orphanage, and that's how the entire functionality was going good. And we were very happy even with that. And even that particular organization, the new venture or the new startup at that time, whatever we've started, was growing very rapidly, and from 10, 20, and it went to 50, and then 100, and we ended up with almost like 350 employees in less than 2 years. And it was a very big milestone for us, a very good achievement for us. But later, again, as told, whatever we do as a students, we always see only in one direction. So we never think, or we never even have any idea that there's something else, the other side of the coin we'll never see. We'll only see only one side of the coin. So our one side of the coin, our story in the one side of the coin is like, we are earning good amount and we are maintaining the orphanage and we have good number of employees and all. But the other side of the coin is very important for every entrepreneur, which is like managing crisis, risk management, risk mitigations, and financial management. So which we do not have at that particular point of time as a very youngster. So we do not have that kind of story at that kind of experience at that time. And we do not have proper mentors, and we do not even have a proper ecosystem. Especially the entrepreneurship ecosystem was not there at particular time. It was still on a very low scale. This is in somewhere 2010. And the entire organization, whatever we've started getting collapsed. And I think within by 2012 we collapsed completely, and all the employees who've been working were on rolls. All the business was shut down. The orphanage was given to someone else, and that's how we've ended the first complete. If I have to say, it's a successful failure. The first successful failure was completed in 2012. So later we got many ideas. So then we took a break, and then I had a personal loss in my family, and then I lost my mother in between. Then we took a gap, and then we decided, so robotics again, so why can't we start with something else? Right. So then we started working on along with the students again across India this time, uh, because our dream of robotics has never been dropped anywhere in between. So that's one reason I always say that one might not be a hero in real life, but can never be a zero in the dreams. So you can never be zero in your dreams. You'll be your hero in your dreams, and that's how the dream started. And then we started working with students and education institutions across India, where we started working on first ever robotics festival kind of events pan India. Thought of organizing the robotics festival events pan India, where we started inviting the first ever people stepping into India in the field of robotics. So that's how we've designed a very beautiful event. But later, again, I started going to all the colleges, and I think I've been to almost like more than 300 colleges across the country till date, and been interacted with thousands of students. And every student, especially in the engineering colleges, all the technical institutions, every student who wants to pursue something in robotics always has one or the other concern. And we've collected all those concerns, and meanwhile we started meeting all the government officials or any local bodies, and we started identifying all the kind of problem statements. And with all those things, we thought we can start something else. And that's when we've added a flavor called passion. And that's when learnings from all my learnings from my past failures, and all together put together, we have started a startup called HBots Robotics in 2017. So the concept is very simple. So if you just look at my screen currently, so this is what we've been trying to achieve from agriculture to industrial automation. Any kind of problem statement in the country, we would like to solve with the help of robotics technology. So it might be a consumer robots, it might be a futuristic robots, or it might be a industrial automation, or it might be a very simple device. But the major segments is something which we started. We thought like we need to work together along with the educational institutions. And that's when we started establishing labs, research labs in the colleges. Along with the educational institutions, we started doing research on various domains. And then we started coming up with various problem statements. So agriculture, India is the largest, India depends largest on agriculture domain. And so I have a very, it might be a very lame example, but it's true actually. If you guys, you can also relate to this story. In my childhood, from my childhood, so when I was very young, I remember when I used to visit my grandparents' places or something. So they used to cook all the cooking used to be done with the help of the wooden camphors, etc. And later, when I think when I was growing and when I was in my high school, when I visited my grandparents, I remember all the cooking things used to happen on kerosene stoves, etc. And later, I believe the gas stoves became popular, and later the induction stoves or the electric stoves, and now even the ovens. So all these became part of our living right from my childhood. So I've seen all kind of cooking habits right from my childhood. Even at the same time, the way we eat also has been changed. So earlier when we were in school days, so when I was in my school days, I used to well, like most of the rural areas, they used to use their hands to eat, and then we started adapting new technologies or new utensils in our eating habits also. But when you look at the farming segment, so all the things whatever we eat, it comes from one single segment, it's agriculture. But all the farmers, right from there, right from my childhood even today, I see they're using the same old technologies, same old techniques. And we've been developing ourselves in a very rapid scale, and the agriculture is still on a way backward than whatever it has to be. So that's when we realize, so okay, robotics can play a very major role in agriculture. So let's start doing something in robotics. And then defense is, India is the third largest defense annual, like we do have the third largest annual budget for defense. We spend a lot on defense. It's more than like $70 billion we spend on defense, and still we still figure out, and we still fight, and we still have many unsolved issues or unsolved technological advancements in the defense segments. And that's when again we thought robotics can play a key major role. And again, one other important segment we identified is disaster management. Today in India, whenever any disaster happens, we have a very wonderful rescue teams. India has one of the most best rescue teams, but to all the rescue teams, they do everything manually, and they do not have any kind of uh, technical advancements or any advanced equipments with them. So that's when we thought, okay, even robotics can play a very major role in the disaster management as well. So tomorrow, if there's any disaster, so all the disaster management can rely on the products whatever we develop, and they can make, and they can take a quick actions and do the rescue operations as early as possible. So these are the major key segments which we identified, and all the problem statements in these segments can just not be solved by HBots. And that's when we thought is students are the major uh, uh, stakeholders of this particular concepts. So let's involve students, let's start working with educational institutions, and that's when we started establishing research labs. So today we are very proud that we are really working on various multiple and various problems in multiple domains, and we are coming up with beautiful solutions. And then the entire concept was going in one way, and then we also realized, because if you just look at our past again, so India was always been on the top in giving back-end services or back-end support to the IT industry. So the entire nation used to work. So we had many software companies. So we have many software employees. So all these people used to work and give their support to all the front-end companies somewhere sitting outside India. And we were always famous only for software, not for the hardware. Then we realized the next generations, whatever coming right from last one decade, my strong belief is as India will be the leading in the manufacturing segment, and the one beautiful manufacturing segment will be robotics in the future. And that's when again we realized is we have to manufacture our own robots. So we've been working, so anytime we want any robot, so any company in India or any company outside India as well, we generally look up towards China, or we generally look up towards Japan, or generally look up towards Germany for any kind of advanced robotic solutions or any kind of advanced robots. But that's when we realized we have to make India as one of the strongest and largest robotics manufacturing hub in the world, and let's start manufacturing our own robot. And that was a foundation stone for our very first product, smart policing robot. So this is first of its kind robot which was developed in the country, and the entire product is completely made in India and made in Hyderabad. Most of the product is made in Hyderabad, and the rest of the product is made in different parts of the country, some in Mumbai, and some in Bangalore, some in Delhi as well. So we got this product, and we made sure the entire product and the production took place in less than 6 months. So we promised in front of the entire world and media that we will launch the first ever smart policing robot in the world in less than 6 months. And we were able to do it because India already has all the necessary ecosystem for production. So generally people say we do not have ecosystem, but we do have a larger production and larger hardware ecosystem, which is not being told to many people, or which is not most of us are not aware of it. So that's one reason we still think that we are backing, or we are still back in the production or in the manufacturing segment. But trust me, so we are far better than any other neighboring countries. Yes, not completely equal to China, but definitely there will be a day where definitely we will even cross, or maybe equal or cross to China in the manufacturing segment as well. So this is just I'm sorry, I'm unable to play the video. Yeah. I'll share the videos later. So this is the first video, very first video. Once we, this was shot once we immediately done the assembling, the entire assembling of our smart policing robot. So I think we remember it was somewhere in the midnight, and the once we switch it on. So I think the first power on of this particular robot. So this video was shot at that particular time. It's just a 10 seconds video, and this is our entire robot. So it's a 5.5 feet semi-humanoid robot, completely made in India. Even I'm unable to play this video as well. But yeah, this is on our official website, and this is on our YouTube channel as well. I request everyone to watch this particular video after the session or whenever you're free, to see the standard of the Indian robotics companies, how they're coming up with wonderful robotic solutions. Right. So this is one part of the story. This is one part of my story where we are working on robots. So HBot is completely one of my dream startup, and where we are working on various solutions. It's a business, but at the same time, the other important responsibility which I seriously think that one has to take up, and especially all you youngsters have to take up, is developing your community. Unfortunately, we in India, we develop religious and regional communities than the technological communities. And it's time for us, and it's time for all the youngsters like you to work on developing the technological communities, and to make sure the next generations have a beautiful outcome from those particular communities. So that's when, as I was in robotics, so I thought, okay, let's try to give some contribution towards robotics. And just with a simple cause, it's time to it's time that I give back to the country. So we've come up with a very new concept called All India Robotics Association. So IRA was started a year ago, and this particular organization is on a simple mission to make India as the largest and the global leader in the robotics manufacturing. We are not trying to sell robots in India, but we are trying to make robots in India and sell outside India. India is not a consumer of robotics, yes, and I do even agree that. So we Indians doesn't need robots, but we Indians can make the best beautiful robots where the entire world is, where the entire world wants to depends on. So we are on a very single mission, and we started this association with the collaboration of government of Telangana, and also the government of India, especially the Niti Aayog. So with them, we started this particular organization, and this organization is on a very clear mission in making robotics policies and creating $1 million of robotics export path. So tomorrow, any company in India wants to manufacture a robot and want to export to any country, IRA will be the first point of contact where they'll take care of all your exports. So it's a not-for-profit organization. And exam and even education. So there are many robotics companies who are offering education, but there's no proper reforms. And that's when again IRA pitched in and started reforming the entire education segment. And there are many robots. So even HBots is one of the top 2 or so top 3 robotics companies who started manufacturing in India and started exporting to outside, exporting from India. So even we follow a different approach in building a robot. There's another company, they follow a different robotics production approach, but there should be a common standard approach to build a robot. So that's when we will be able to project ourselves and the country as a stronger node to the other nations. So that's where again IRA is trying to create a strong policies in making a standard and qualitative and quality and quantitative robots. And that's how we are trying to create this particular story. And any entrepreneurs tomorrow, if you want to have any kind of robotics funding, IRA is ready to even invest on that particular startups as well, with a seed fund and then with an angel fund. So IRA will be one-stop solution for all the robotic startups in the country, and IRA will be on top of all the robotic startups in the country. So that's how we've designed the entire concept of IRA. So this is what I always want to tell each and everyone, all the entrepreneurs. So this is what you have to learn as well. So mark your dream, multiply it with your passion, integrate it with a cause, and equate it with your failure. And this will definitely, trust me, will lead you to the success or grand success. So apart from that, two of our very we are also very happy to share one of our very recent achievements. So we've recently designed a robot during the pandemic called Accord for disinfection purposes, and there are many other companies outside India who also developed these particular robots. But fortunately, our robot was being the lowest economical solution across the globe, and we were recently honored. The robot, so not we, or not me, but the robot was recently honored with a place in first ever Asia's robotics museum in Gujarat, and which was inaugurated by Shri Narendra Modi ji. So this was a kind of development or achievements happening in robotics. But as a technological entrepreneur, so my most of my contribution would be on technology, but there should be one driving factor, and there should be always one driving co-founder who will take things to the next level. And that's where the entire entrepreneurship cells across the country in all the colleges will play a key major role. So we guys also need you guys. So you have a very bright futures. You always have very bright opportunities. Earlier, when we started our stories, where there was no proper ecosystems in the country, but today there is a lot of ecosystems. Earlier, when we want to raise any kind of funding, we have to prove ourselves first making a product. But today, with a simple idea for you guys, just take an idea, write it on a paper, and you have many agencies to support you on X level, on any extent, honestly. Right? So there's a lot of development, there's a lot of ecosystem. But again, the only point I always want to mention to you, whoever it might be, or whatever you're starting it on, it might be robotics or it might be any other field, always make sure you always have a clear understanding on the entire process, how the entire operations is going on, how the entire product is being built on, how the entire story is being built on. If we are only focusing on one side of the story, always remember there's the coin has two sides. So just do not focus on one side. Always even try to make yourself balance and try to focus on both the sides of the coin. And that's what I want to tell you, or that's what I really want to give my insights on this. And again, India has a lot of opportunities, and India has a very India is growing very fastly, and India has very amazing opportunities outside India again. So we Indians can rock the world, rule the world, sitting right here in India itself. So I wish everyone to contribute your success, contribute your knowledge to the development of the nation, and any kind of support. The entire your ESL is there, and with your ESL, people like me, there are many people in Hyderabad. We are ready to support you as well. So this is my story, and I'm Kishan. I'm made in India. Thank you.
Sir, are you done?
Yes.
So participants, if you have any questions, you can ask. I repeat, participants, if you have any questions, queries to ask, anything you can ask, feel free to ask. If you don't want to unmute, you can write in the chat box as well. Kishan sir, there's a question in the chat box.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Hi, Shiva. Thank you for your question. So the idea of making IRA project for robotics is, again, I told you, I was in this particular field from last almost like more than a decade so far. And when I was a student, or when I started my career in graduation somewhere in 2007, so people used to say robotics is a future. And then I heard the same story in 2011 as well. People used to say robotics is a future. And later, when I started HBots, even then people used to say robotics is a future. And even today, people say robotics is a future. But I've been working on the robotics from almost a decade, and even I was waiting for that future. So to create and to make that reality for the next upcoming generations, we thought there should be one proper association, because unless and until there is a unity in the entire robotics startups or companies in India, there's no development of robotics in the country again. So that's when we thought there should be some trade body for them. Thank you. So when we started, so there are approximately 358 robotic startups in the country, which are registered and unregistered. I'm not sure on it, but the registered quantity is like around 358, and all the 358, even they are waiting for the organization. Colleges started accepting our IRA as a community, and government of Telangana, as I again told earlier, so government of Telangana is one of the largest supporter in the Telangana region. Now we started working with Niti Aayog, and we started working with DGCI. So we started working with many various departments across the country. I think in a year, definitely we'll have more traction on this. Thank you. Hi Shravya, thank you. First Rohan, I'll answer your question. What advice would you give to someone starting? Yeah, Rohan, one major advice I would always give you is to anyone who ever want to start any business, first understand the problem statement than the solution. So rather than creating the solution, first understand the problem statement, because every problem will definitely have multiple solutions. So once we have very clear on the problem statement, even tomorrow, if your first plan goes wrong, so you'll definitely have other solution to even immediately pick up with. And the other one I would like to mention is again, stick to it. So whatever it is, stick to the same story unless and until you believe it. So when you stop believing your story, only then you give a exit. Until then, you always make sure you stick to that particular story. And I also say one should not only know when to step in, but one should also know when to step out. So before you start something, you need to have all these three in place and then get into business. And Shravya, what kind of problems you faced in your project? So if I have to come up answer this question, I think every problem. So we faced every problem, right from the financial problems and acceptance, and then identifying Indian-made components. Because the biggest challenge we challenge to the entire world is that we'll make a robot in India. So identifying all the Indian electronics, especially is a very largest and biggest and toughest task, and that's I think one of the largest or the biggest problems we face so far. And let me sorry Shravya and Shreya, what marketing tactics do you find most effective for reaching new customers? uh, to marketing tactics, if it comes, it should be uh, the founder itself. So whoever the founder, if you are starting, because honestly, so we are not a big MNC where we do have a marketing wing. So we do not have any marketing wing. So it's all on the founder and the co-founder. So you guys are the biggest sales and you guys are the biggest marketing strategist of your firm. So it's all depends on the way, on the passion, on whatever you want to project. So there should be a proper story first. Unless and until we do have a story, even as if your story is beautiful, even a small product can also create wonders. So there's no need of innovation in the products, but they need to be a proper innovation in your story. So this is something which I strongly believe. How to go ahead for patenting any product? So for patenting any product in India, I think Niti Aayog is giving wonderful support currently. So once you're registered or you have a registered startup under Startup India Stand Up India program, so there are a lot of patents subsidies also given by the central government. So that's easy. But if you would like to do a patent on your own, my personal suggestion is to consider a legal professional, take his advice, do the entire documentation properly, and then go for patenting. What key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs invest their time in? So I would definitely invest. I would definitely advise or recommend all the entrepreneurs to invest this time in working with any startup. It might be a small or a large, whatever it is, and whatever role it is. So try to work with a startup, because only in a startup where you will find the entire structure. So you'll have place where you can interact it from a zero level employee to a top management, and that cannot never happen in any MNCs. So first try to work with any startups, and then I also request every entrepreneurs to also work on real-time problem statements in any domain you take in the country first. So that will give you a lot of experience as well. And Dhruvi, what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? So for me, rather than being an entrepreneur, I would love to do research, because robotics needs a lot of research. But as it's a startup, the entire concept was converted into a startup. So I've become an entrepreneur. So it's not that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So my passion is robotics and my passion is research. So that the cycle has changed from that to the other story. Thank you, Anujum. And Rahul, what do you find most challenging about being an entrepreneur? As I mentioned earlier, one should not only know when to step in, but one should also know when to step out. I always believe ideas are like buses, so they come one by one, but boarding a right bus at a right time will definitely help you to reach your destination. So one should also understand when to quit, when to give an exit, and when to start something new, or when to change your approach. So that's the most and biggest challenging approach for any entrepreneur. And how can overcome finance problem in your business? So finance problem for any business will definitely be there. So there's no doubt on it. So it will be there. Some are very lucky where they can solve the financial issues in less than 6 months. It takes for some, it takes almost like a decade, or some it takes like more than 5 years or something. But sticking to a problem, or sticking to one product and then meeting multiple investors and convincing them to get into your business is always the best part to play around with your startup. Madhu, how have your priorities changed from when you first started? Yeah, my priorities has been changed as per the technological advancements in the society as well. So, example, as I told you, like I was in robotics from last 10 years. So if would have developed the same policing robot almost 10 years ago, I think by now I would have already vanished. So we our priorities has to be changed based on the technological advancements. So if Apple 2G was released now, I don't think so they would make a huge market. But Apple has come into market at the right time. So, and Nokia, and that Nokia also will be one of the largest examples for us, and it will be one of the largest lessons for us to learn a lot from them. Nokia is one of the beautiful brands, but it, as per the technological advancements, people also need, also always expect upgrades from us ourselves also, and based on that we have to set up priorities, making sure and understanding the market challenges every day. Thank you, Madhu.
Thank you so much, Kishan.
Thank you so much. Again, thanks a lot for inviting, and I really wish all the very bright future for you guys. And as part of any kind of internships, again giving you all assurance from my team. So we will be definitely uh, supporting you in whatever way we want from our end, in connecting to any people or any extent, whatever we can do. All the very best. Take care. Thank you.
Sir, can you please wait? We just click a virtual photograph.
Sure. Sorry.
Photograph.
Oh,
We need to turn
how
on
do
the camera.
I need to turn on the camera.
Yes, sir. And all the participants, I request you guys to please turn on their cameras.
Camera. Just give me a minute, please.
Good evening, sir. This is Anuja, faculty of ESL.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, thank you for coming in. And I would just like to highlight here that we also have BSc IT as a program in our college. I would love to have your guest lecture again for those students even.
Definitely, ma'am. I would definitely, and I think I also have a plan to visit Mumbai somewhere this month. So I would also love to visit and see the campus as well.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. You're always welcome to our college,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Participants, please turn on the cameras. I would request again. Just 1 second, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Smile. Anuja ma'am, you listening? Will you please turn on the camera?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Meaning of just one more.
Yes, Mezabin.
Yes, ma'am, done. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, all
Participants,
the
there is a
best.
feedback form in the chat box. Do fill that. And sir, few minutes more, I would request Sushila to please take over.
Sure.
Thank you, Mejavin. Now the webinars come to the end, so I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and the contribute to making the webinar a great success. To our honorable speaker, Mr. Kishan PSV, to take out his time from his busy schedule to grace the event. I will also thanks to the principal Vijata Sethi for supporting us, and I will also thanks to the Anupama Bali ma'am, Anuja ma'am, and Lubina ma'am for guiding us. And thank you for the all ECL member who has taken effort to make the webinar success. And the most heartily thanks to the student for attending the webinar. So thank you to all. Now I will request Majorvin to take over.
Mezabin, I would like to add here, we'll also like to thank Mayur sir for his support in IT.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much, Kishan sir. It was a wonderful webinar by you. So
Thank you so much. Thank you for again.
Yes.
All the very best.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.